Now, our feature presentation.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Wealth Management Advisory Club meeting and to Chapter 2 or dose of our Spring Break Workshop Spectacular. Yeah, it's a fiesta up in here. Let's go. All right, enough of the fun stuff. It's always fun here at the WMA Club. All right, so Chapter 2 is going to be Debt Management Workshop. So, you guys are ready? I know I'm mostly ready. Let's get this party started, baby. All right, got to get this loaded up as always. Just got to make sure I get my handy dandy notes here in mind. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday today. Slideshow, start. Okay. There we go. All righty. Chapter 2, Debt Management Workshop. We all don't want to go in debt in life. We all do not want that. I especially don't want our members to go into debt. So this is a way to manage your debt. So here we go. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about what is debt management, why is it so important, not only that, why is it so important to the youth, you guys, our members. Then we're also going to talk about debt management strategies. So I'm going to go in depth about the 4 strategies. So create a budget, prioritizing debt payments, negotiating with creditors, explore debt consolidation. I'll also talk about debt management tips. And then finally, we'll wrap it all up with our conclusion as always. So let's talk about first, what is debt management? So you guys already know what debt is, but you guys probably not wondering, wait, what's debt management? Well, debt management is the process of managing and paying off debt in a way that minimizes interest charges and helps you achieve financial stability. This can involve creating a budget, prioritizing debt payments, everything I talked about in the agenda page. The goal of debt management is to pay off debt in a responsible and effective manner while also improving your credit score and reducing financial stress. By the way, we will be talking about to improve a FICO score. That will be, if I look on my calendar, that will be on March 14th. So stay tuned for that workshop because it's going to be a doozy. And it'll be an updated version of the older version of it. If you guys know what I mean, you guys know. So also, effective debt management is important for achieving financial goals and maintaining a healthy financial future. So now they talk about what is it. Now you're probably wondering, wait, why should I even worry about debt management? Why is it even important to me? Well, you should worry about it as a student because obviously you are paying student loans and hopefully you're able to pay off all those student loans so you're not in debt. So let's not talk about that more in depth. Why is it important? Well, debt management is important because high levels of debt can negatively impact your credit score, making it harder to get loans or credit in the future. And carrying too much debt can also lead to financial stress and can also limit your ability to save for important financial goals, like, for example, retirement, which we're going to be talking about in a future workshop spectacular in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. And buying a house. I think we did talk about estate planning. Yes, we did. We didn't talk. Yeah, we did talk about estate planning. We did. Sorry, I've been all over the place making these workshops for you guys, so I do apologize. So there are also a couple other reasons why debt management is important. For example, reduce financial stress. Debt can be a significant source of financial stress. By managing debt effectively, you can reduce this stress and improve your overall quality of life. Maintaining a good credit score. Now, obviously, I'm only talking a snippet about this, but again, when we do talk about building and maintaining a FICO score workshop, I will go more in depth about how that works. So again, I promise you, we are going to talk about that, but not this workshop. In a future workshop, we will talk about that. Promise you, I always keep my promises. So high levels of debt can negatively impact your credit score, which can make it harder for getting loans or credit in the future. You can improve your credit score and improve your chances of being approved for credit in the future. Achieve your financial goals. So high levels of debt can make it difficult to save for important financial goals, such as, like I said above, buying a house or retirement. By managing debt effectively, you can free up money to invest in your future and reduce your interest charges. Debt management strategies such as paying off high interest debts first or consolidating debt can help reduce interest charges and save you money in the long run, which we all want you guys to do, save money. So let's now talk about the debt management strategies. And there are 4 of them. Create a budget, prioritizing debt payments, negotiating with creditors, and exploring debt consolidation. I'm going to talk about all 4 of these in depth right here and right now. So let's start off with the first one, which is create a budget. See, paper, pencil, you got a calculator up there, create a budget. That's what they did in the old days until we now have technology like Excel and all these other platforms, they create a budget. So, so creating a budget. This can help you see where your money is going to and identify areas of where you cut back on expenses. And here are some steps to create a budget, which I will go all in depth about this. And again, if I'm going way too fast, I will put expanded version of it, speaker notes in these slides. So again, bear in mind, if I do go too fast, you guys can read that or just load in the video like the 0.5 speed, which you know this is what it is. But first off, you have to determine your income. Calculate your monthly income, including your salary, your wages, and any other sources of income. The next step being is to track your expenses. Track your monthly expenses for at least 1 month, 1 calendar month. So not from like the 15th of March to April 15th, 1 calendar month. So first to the end of the month. Then and by the way, these can include bills and groceries, transportation, entertainment, and other expenses. Then you want to categorize your expenses. So categorize your expenses into fixed expenses such as rent or mortgage payments and variable expenses such as groceries or entertainment. For anyone who's a finance major or accounting major, you should probably know that by now. If you're a freshman, then do not worry. You're going to learn about this when you get to sophomore year. And if you do not go to FDU, then ignore what I just said there. Just that little snippet. So determine your debt payments. Determine how much you are paying towards your debt each month. Then you want to identify areas to cut back. Look for areas where you could cut back on expenses. This can include reducing your entertainment budget, cooking at home instead of eating out, or shopping for cheaper groceries. And I know probably a lot of people's expenses are going up, probably because Netflix is hiking up the prices and, you know, all the streaming services. Trust me, thank God I don't pay for those. My parents do, so thank God. I love them so much, honestly. So then it's finally time to create your budget after doing all those other steps. Use your income and expenses, create a monthly budget, and make sure to allocate enough money towards your debt payments. And then finally, you better want to stick to your budget. Unless something does drastic happen, then, you know, rearrange it. But most likely to stick to it. Once you've created your budget, make a commitment to stick to it. Regularly review your budget and make adjustments as needed. Remember, creating a budget is an important first step in effective debt management. By tracking your income and expenses and identifying areas to cut back on, you can free up money to put towards paying off your debt and achieving your financial goals and hopefully to pay off your student loan debts. So the next being is prioritizing debt payments. So prioritizing debt payments is focused on paying off high interest debt first while making minimum payments on other debts. Now, I will say this now, that we are going to go into a little bit of a subplot in a little bit after we talk about the prioritizing debt payments, because there's 2 things I'm going to mention, and then we're going to go to the third one. So here are some steps to prioritize your debt payment. You first want to list your debts. So make a list of all your debts, including the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment for each of them. Then you want to do is identify high interest debts. So identify the debts with the highest interest rates. These are the debts that you should focus on paying off first. So basically it's this: pay off the higher ones first, pay the lower one last. Because again, you do not want to get a lot of debt. You do not want that. So pay off the high ones first. Make minimum payments on other debts. So make sure you continue to make minimum payments on your other debts while focusing on paying off your high interest debts. And then use either the debt snowball or the debt avalanche method. Now, I will talk about both of these in a little bit, but I'm not going to go and touch fully in depth about those because, again, they deserve their own slides, their own slide for them. So then skipping over that, finally, evaluate your progress. Regularly evaluate your progress and adjust your strategy as needed. Celebrate your success and stay motivated to continue paying off your debts. And remember, prioritizing your debt payments can help you pay off your debts faster and save you money in interest charges. By focusing on high interest debts and using a debt payoff method that works for you, you can make steadily, if my iPad wants to work today, you can make steadily progress towards becoming debt-free, which we all want our members to do in life, to become net debt-free. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the 2 methods that I just stated earlier. So the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method. I specifically wanted to highlight both of these methods in particular because they do have some differences between each other. And again, I want to make sure you guys get the right information by us. So let's talk about the debt snowball method. So the debt snowball method is a debt payoff strategy that involves paying off debts in order from the smallest to largest balance, regardless of the interest rate. So think about it like this. Hope I have an example of a ball or something. Do I have a ball in here? Yeah, I do. Sorry. See, this is why we have great things. Why we're able to do our meetings at home for us from break. So this is awesome. So imagine you have this. Imagine this is your debt. You basically want to do is to basically pay off your debt from the small to large. So as you keep paying it off, it's going to start to turn into a ball or a snowball. See the reference I just made? See? Pat yourself on the back if you got it. So here's some steps to use the debt snowball method. So first of all, you want to make a list of all your debts, which I'm going to talk, I already talked about that already, but let me talk about the other steps that are more keen to debt snowball. Order your debts. Order your debts from smallest to largest balance. It's very easy because that's what debt snowball method is. Pay the minimum on all debts. Make the minimum payment of all your debts each month. Then you want to focus on the smallest debt. Focus on paying off the smallest debt first using any extra money you have. This could be money from a side hustle or side job or tax refund or a bonus from work, as an example. Celebrate your progress, help you keep motivated. It's very simple. And then move on to the next debt. Once you have paid off the smallest debt, move on to the next smallest debt and repeat the process until all your debts have been paid off. Now, remember, the debt snowball method may not be the most cost-effective strategy for paying off debt, as it does not take interest rate into account. However, though, it can be a helpful strategy staying motivated and make progress toward becoming debt-free. Okay, now we're talking about debt avalanche method. Now, bear in mind, it is basically the same thing, but with one major difference. And please, if you take anything out of this presentation, please do not mix up these two methods. Please don't. And it is this. So the debt avalanche method, unlike the debt snowball method, is a debt payoff strategy that involves paying off debts in order from highest to lowest. So the main difference here is this. Debt avalanche, highest to lowest. Debt snowball, lowest to highest. As long as you take that away from this presentation today, you're already a step ahead. So, yeah. So there's only going to be one additional step. Actually, one thing I'm actually going to talk about, and that is to focus on the highest interest rate debt. And that is basically to focus on paying the debt with the highest interest rate first, using any extra money you have. And basically, it's the same as the debt snowball. The only one being different is that you're basically focusing on the highest interest rate debt comparing to the focus on the small one. So as long as you know that, so basically it's like, you have this big ball, you want to, pay off the interest, and then it's going to turn into a little ice cube, size of this, little ice cube. Now, remember, the debt avalanche method can be the most cost-effective strategy for paying off debt, as it can help you minimize the amount of interest you pay over time. However, though, on the other side, it can take longer to see progress and may require more discipline and patience. So you have patience in life, like me, then do debt avalanche. If you're very impatient, then I suggest you debt snowball method. But again, either method would work out in managing your debt. So again, it is up to what you believe in. So third strategy is to negotiate with creditors. Yes, there are people called creditors. Yeah, there are. So creditors may be able to negotiate lower interest rate or a payment plan that works for you. And it can be a helpful strategy for managing debt. And here's some steps to negotiate with your creditors. First, you want to do is review your finances. Before negotiating with creditors, review your finances and determine how much you can afford to pay. Consider creating a budget and prioritizing your debt payments. So again, like we talked about with the debt management strategies, make sure you create your budget first. See, be able to tie those two in together. Then you want to do is contact your creditor. Reach out to your creditor and explain your situation. You need to be very, very honest and clear about your financial situation and your ability to pay. Because again, if you lie, you're then going to get a call from the IRS and you're going to get taxed on. And believe me, it's going to be really, really bad. So please be honest. Don't lie. Honesty is our best policy, as a wise man once said. So, So offer a payment plan. Offer a payment plan that you can afford based on your budget. This can include a lump sum payment or smaller monthly payments over time. Then you also want to do is then negotiate interest rates. If you have a high interest debt, ask if your creditor can reduce the interest rate. This can help you save money on interest charges and can pay off your debt faster. And the most important thing you want to do, if you're negotiating with the creditor and if it's in person, and I don't care if this is in person, If this is virtually via Zoom, I do not care, but make sure that everything gets put in writing or in text. Make sure you get any agreements in writing. This can help prevent misunderstandings or disputes in the future. Now, remember, negotiating with creditors can be a helpful strategy for managing debt, but it may not always be successful. If you are struggling to negotiate with the creditors or you're experiencing financial hardship, consider reaching out to a credit consulting agency or a financial advisor for additional support. Just a way if you are, if you can't really get good luck with this. Finally, explore debt consolidation. So you're probably wondering, wait, isn't that simple? You're just consolidating the debt? Yeah, but let me explain it now a little more deep. So consolidating multiple debts into one loan can make it easier to manage your payments and potentially lower your overall interest rate. That's basically what debt consolidation is. And there are some steps to explore debt consolidation if you plan to do so. Assess your debt. Start by assessing your current debt situation. Make a list of all your debts, including the balances and interest rate. We've already seen that before. But the next thing you want to do is to research your options. There are several options for debt consolidation, including personal loans, balance transfer, credit cards, and home equity loans. And trust me, we already talked about credit cards. We do our FICO score workshop. Trust me, we will do that. I will not forget that. I will really write a mental note in my head to not forget that. Apply for a loan. If you decide to pursue a personal loan or a home equity loan or a student loan, as an example, college students, student loan, start by applying for the loan. Make sure to compare rates and terms from multiple lenders to get the best deal. Transfer balances. If you decide to pursue a balance transfer credit card, apply for the card and transfer your high interest balances to the new card. Make sure to pay off the balances before introductory rates expire. Finally, make payments on time. And I cannot say this enough. Time, and if you guys have watched any of our meetings where I presented, it was IMA or Wiley, you guys know this. The one thing I want you guys to take away from the presentations: time management is key to success. If you do not start building them now in college, oh God, I don't know what's going to happen there in the real world if you do not know how to do that. But that's the one thing I want you guys to take away. So once you've consolidated your debts, make sure to make your payments on time. Late payments can result in fees and damage your credit score. Now, remember, debt consolidation can be a helpful strategy for managing debt, but it may not always be the best option. Make sure to consider the cost and potential risk of each option before making a decision. So now let's talk about debt management tips. And there's 3 tips. One of them I've already talked about already. Actually, 2 of them I talked about already. But one of them I'm going to really advise all of you to do. And I hope everyone is doing this right now. Pay on time. We already talked about that in exploring debt consolidation. So I'm not going to touch on that. We talked about seeking help. We already touched that in negotiate with creditors. The one thing that hopefully everyone should start doing, and if you haven't, I really suggest you start doing it right now, not right this instant, but after you watch this meeting. Avoid new debt. Try not to take on new debt while you're working off to pay the existing debt. It's very simple. Don't get new debt. Pay it all off and never deal with debt again. Never. Like a distant memory. So, in summary, debt management is an important part of achieving financial stability and reaching your financial goals. And by creating a budget, prioritizing debt payments, and exploring debt management strategies, you can take control of your debt and work towards a more secure financial future. And with that, that ends chapter 2 of our spring break workshop spectacular. I hope you enjoyed this chapter, as I did, very, very well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media pages. And the next time we will see you guys, which will be on Sunday, which will be doing chapter 3, which will be financial literacy workshop. You may be wondering why we're doing this. Well, it's not going to be like when you had in high school where they taught you about financial literacy, or when you did in 6th grade for anyone who lived where I lived. You guys know what I'm talking about. But it's not. We're actually going heavy with this one. So until tomorrow, this is Jack saying so long. Great rest of your Saturday, and we will see you on Sunday for our 3rd chapter of our spring break workshop spectacular. Bye-bye.